If you want to know how much money I made in 2024 on Amazon KDP, stay tuned. So let's just take a little step back and show you where I began. So I actually started my self-publishing journey back in 2020. For a couple of years, I was just publishing my sci-fi writing and I wasn't getting many sales. And then towards the end of 2022, I discovered the whole world of self-publishing medium content books. So that's things like colouring books, puzzle books. They're sort of slightly easier to create books than actually writing a whole novel. And so I got a few sales in September of 2022, and then I built towards the end of 2023. So last year was my first year of actually seeing some success on Amazon KDP. So let's look at how I got on in 2024. Taking a quick look at the goals that I set myself at the beginning of this year. I wanted to launch my new website, which I managed to do. I wanted to start building a mailing list so that I could talk to you one-on-one and share my videos and any other useful tips that I had, and I managed to do that. Thank you to everyone who's signed up so far. If you haven't yet, I don't send any spam. I only send a couple of emails per month, and I'll share some of my best videos, some exclusive tips and tricks. So if you want to sign up to that email, click the link in the description below. My aim was to publish 60 books in the year, and I was very, very close to that, but I didn't quite hit 60. The aim was to hit 16,000 orders, which I managed, and then I wanted to get at least $20,000 in profit. Again, I managed to hit that. Looking at the overview for 2024, I published 58 books on Amazon. The majority of those were medium content books. So colouring books, puzzle books, activity books, something that has enough content inside to differentiate it from a low content book, but it's essentially designed for the consumer to fill it in. I produced one high content book, which was my Mid-Journey AI prompt guide, and then I created a few low content journals as well. Just touching on this YouTube channel, I published 71 videos and got over 630,000 views, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you again for all of the continued support on this channel. And over on Etsy, I've been building my Etsy shop over there, and I got 18 orders and $880 in profit. So it's nowhere near the Amazon KDP levels yet, but if you've been following this channel for a while, you know I'm trying to create additional income streams. And the idea is create loads of income streams, build them up, and then have a full-time income. But back to what you actually want to know, which is how many books did I sell in 2024? I sold 20,615 books. As you can see there, I've now got 146 books. And so my bookshelf is now starting to fill up a bit, which is great. And so I want to keep on going and building the amount of titles that I have on Amazon. And then hopefully year on year, the sales will continue to rise as well. But looking at the orders throughout the year, it's pretty steady all the way up until November. And then that Q4 spike starts to happen where people start buying giftable products. And so in November, my orders pretty much doubled. And then in December, it doubled again. I recently published my December 2024 income report. If you're interested to see how much I made in a single month, go and check that out. But again, I think it just shows the power of Amazon KDP. If you're creating giftable products around the Q4 period, you're going to get a huge increase in sales. Taking a little step back and looking at my growth over time. As I mentioned, I started back in 2020 and I was chipping away for a couple of years until I started to see success. And then my main tip to share with you is when you find something that works on Amazon KDP, keep going with that thing. Because like I talked about, the first 2 years I was writing novels and not really getting anywhere. And then when I moved to medium content, I started seeing success. So I started doubling down on those areas and it led to increased sales. And so you can see here at the outside of those 2 December peaks of December 2023 and December 2024, it's a pretty gradual increase in orders every month. Now, if you're struggling with your Amazon KDP business, maybe you just want to talk through some issues with someone, I have a website where you can book a one-to-one consultation with me. When you go on my website, publishwithme.com, and go to the consultation tab, it looks a little bit like this. So you can book a 30 or 60 minute consultation with me, or if you just want some feedback on your book or on your book cover, you can also send that over to me in an email as well. When you click through a consultation, it will give you this option to book a slot with me. Then I'll just send you a Zoom link and we'll get to talk one-on-one and I can help you through anything to do with Amazon KDP. So if you're serious about Amazon, if you have a few issues that you want to talk through, if you want some help with Amazon ads, or even if you just want to pick my brain on a few things, I think that's a great little option. So if that's of interest to you, head over to publishwithme.com. Back to my books, you can see that most of my sales happened in the United States. And that's because the majority of my content is targeted to the US audience. So I'm making things like colouring books with the US spelling. They can still sell in the UK, but the target is the US. I do have a few UK targeted books though that sell well in the UK, but the majority of my sales come from the US, a good amount from the UK, and then my Canada sales are increasing as well. In terms of the other countries, I run a few ads in Australia, so I get a few sales over there, and then everything else is all organic. So that shows that you can sell some books organically, but if you're not using ads, you're probably not going to get those bigger figures. But one thing that I did want to share is this is my best selling book, and outside of December this year, I didn't run any ads to it. And so as you can see here, every month it was getting between 200 and 400 orders because it's ranking really well for certain search terms. One thing that I did notice was that in December, advertisers were competing directly against my book, and it was pushing my book down on page 1. So I just started to run a few defensive ads to make sure that it was staying up there in December. And so that's my advice to you as well. If you've got a best-selling book that's ranking well organically, make sure in December, when there's more people searching for those type of books, that you're running ads just to protect it as well. But over the year, I probably spent about $100 in ads on this book, and it's got me over 4,000 sales. Next, I just want to share one of my most successful launches of the year. So I launched this puzzle book back in August of 2024. I used Amazon ads to launch it. I probably spent a few $100s on launching it over the first couple of months. But as you can see here, it's increased in orders every month. And then I hit that Q4 boom. And this one book's got me over 1,500 orders. So if you're thinking that Amazon KDP is dead in 2025 and you can't get sales, think again. You just need to create a high quality book in a good niche and launch it using ads. However, not all books are as successful. So this is one that I launched in September. It was a colouring book, and despite spending hundreds on ads, I only got 79 sales. I wouldn't be surprised that once I turn my ads off, that's not going to get any more sales at all. So what I will say, when you're launching your books with ads, don't spend more than you're willing to invest, because you might not make that back on every book. Some books like that first book are going to be a success, and other books like this one are going to be a failure. So that's just how it seems to be on Amazon KDP at the moment. It's a lot around what niches you're publishing in, how good your front cover is. There's a lot of different reasons why your book might sell well or not sell so well. Now moving on to what most of you are here for, how much did I earn self-publishing on Amazon KDP in 2024? In royalties, I made $42,014. For my Brits out there, that's around £33,482. So this is before my ad spend and my expenses, which I'll come on to in a minute. But to earn over $42,000 from self-publishing books is amazing. And just like the orders that I went through previously, every month is pretty steady. There's a very slow, gradual rise throughout the year, and then the income massively increases in November and December. So if you're just getting going on Amazon KDP, that's the kind of trajectory you can expect. But don't worry in January when it goes back down. So in December here, you can see I made like $12,000 in royalties. Next month, that's going to go back down to around $2,500. But that's okay. It's all about the year-on-year growth, because November and December are just fantastic on Amazon. And just to kind of consolidate that, out of that $42,000, $17,500 of it was made just in the last 2 months. So that kind of shows the importance of November and December on Amazon KDP. You know, almost half of my income is just from those 2 months. Taking a step back and looking at my income over time, this is the amount of money I've generated throughout the whole of my journey so far on Amazon KDP. So over the last 4 years in total, I've made $66,000 in royalties. But as you just saw, over 40,000 of that was just in the last year. So what I'm hoping is I can continue to grow, continue to build, and year on year, I'm going to earn more and more money. Now, I did mention my ads. So let's look at how much I spent on ads and what the results were right now. This is my ad spend over time. And as you can see, it kind of reflects the orders. And that shows the importance of using Amazon ads. If you're not using ads, if you're not launching your book successfully, I think your orders are going to reflect that. And so in the last year, as you can see here on the right-hand side, I've been spending more with ads. I upped my ad spend in November and December, and the orders have reflected that as well. And this is a quick snapshot of this year that shows that exact same thing. So the red line is my ad spend per month, and then the blue bar are my orders. And overall, you can kind of see that as my ad spend increase, my orders increase. And that's what you want over the long term. Looking at my Amazon ads results as a whole for the year, I got 42,551 clicks, spent $10,951 across all of the marketplaces, got a total of 5,699 orders through my ads, which meant my average clicks to order was 7.5. So that's a great benchmark to know. That means on average, for every book that I put on Amazon ads, it's going to take me 7.5 clicks to get an order. So data's super important, and that helps me. That means that if I'm spending, say, $1 per click, it's going to cost me on average $7.50 to get a sale. Whereas if it costs me 10 cents per click, it's going to only cost me 75 cents per order. So that would be directly profitable, and that gives me a guide of what I want to be spending per click on my books. But for 2024, my estimated cost per sale across all of my ads was $1.92. Now, my royalties per book changes depending on the price of the book, how many pages it is, etc. But I would estimate that maybe I'll get between $1.60 and $2.20 in royalties per book. So that $1.92 is around break even across all of my books. It's definitely a little above break even on some of my books, but as mentioned on other videos, there's additional benefits to running Amazon ads outside of your direct sales. Because they're going to help you to rank organically for search terms, they're going to increase your organic sales. And so as long as you're not burning money, you're running ads at a near break even cost, it's going to be beneficial to you in the long term. Looking at my expenses for 2024, my text to image AI was just my Midjourney and some design AI, and that turned out to be $410 for the year. My Creative Fabrica subscription, which is where I get all my fonts and some images for Amazon KDP, plus my big JPG subscription, which is where I enlarge my AI images, those together cost me $90 for the year. And then a few other programs I use, I've either paid for a lifetime subscription before, or as an affiliate, I'm fortunate enough to get free access to some of those tools. So my total expenses for 2024 was around $500. That's approximately £400. So taking that and putting it all together, my income for 2024 was $42,015. My ad spend was $10,951. My expenses was around $500, which means my take-home profit for 2024 was approximately $30,564. That's around £24,357. So a great increase on last year. I'm not quite at that full-time income from Amazon KDP yet, but to earn $30,000 in profit from self-publishing medium content books is absolutely incredible. Sharing my insights for the year. More books obviously equals more sales and more profit. And that's my aim, is keep making high quality books to generate more sales. And one thing that I started doing more of in 2024 was doubling down on areas where books are already selling. So if I've got some successful ads, I've got some books that are selling well organically, I'm creating more of the same with slight twists because I know they're going to sell well. So instead of just throwing random books out there and hoping they sell, I've been focusing on what's selling already and making more books in that series or more books in that niche. Another thing that I started doing was turning off poor performing ads. Sometimes you create a book that you absolutely love and you think it should sell tons, and it ends up not selling very well. Now, it's very easy to leave those ads on because you think it should work, but so much of the time it doesn't work like that. And sometimes you just need to turn off poor performing ads because it's not worth keeping those ads going at a loss. And as always, as you've seen with the data, build towards Q4 because that November and December peak on Amazon KDP is absolutely massive. And what's good to see, even though I'm spending quite a lot on ads, is that 72.5% of my sales are organic. But I think that's only the case because I use Amazon ads. I really do feel that if I wasn't using Amazon ads to help give my books a boost and get them seen and get them visible, that I wouldn't be getting hardly any of my sales that I'm getting at the moment. And taking a quick look at my results for 2024, the blue bars here are my orders and the green bar is my profit. So even though I increased my ad spend in November and December, the profit increased drastically as well. And that's because I'm getting organic sales outside of my ads. And so as you can see, month on month, it's quite hard to track growth. But if we take a look back to last year and compare 2023 to 2024, you can see that my Amazon KDP business is really growing. My orders and my income have more than doubled, and my profit for the year has pretty much tripled. And here on the right hand side, you can see my orders in 2023. And you can see that that base throughout the year was nowhere near the level it is today. But again, I did still experience that big boost in November and December. So the hope is that in 2025, those base levels are going to increase, and then the boost in November and December is going to increase as well. Wrapping up what I've learned in 2024, Amazon ads are incredibly important to launch book to get long-term sales. So the aim with Amazon ads is to launch your book targeting certain keywords, because that's how the majority of people find your book on Amazon. They'll go in the search bar and they'll search for something like cat colouring book for adults. And that's where you want your book to be appearing. But the thing is, your book will only appear there if you're getting sales through that search term. And the best way to do that at the beginning is using ads. So I'll be making a ton of videos on Amazon ads this year, just like I was at the end of last year. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so that I can bring you all of my Amazon ad tips throughout the year. Quality is more important than ever. So I think long gone are the days of just pumping out books and expecting sales. As mentioned, you need to use Amazon ads to launch your book. And so therefore you need your books to be high quality, because else they're going to get negative reviews and over the long term, they're not going to succeed. So what we want to be doing is building great products that are going to succeed over the long term. I'd also suggest giving up on books that don't sell well in the first 1 to 2 or maybe 3 months. If you're like me, you only have so much budget for ads and you want to be focusing that on the books that are selling well. And putting books into a series and linking them via A+ content works really well. So let's say you create a colouring book series around cats. You might have different breeds of cats, you might have cats doing different adventures, but if you put them all in a series, if someone buys a book and likes it, it's very easy for them to come back and check out the other books in the series. And that's what we want to be doing, because that's helping to generate additional sales. Now, I hope this video is useful. I'm just going to go through my goals for the next year, and then this time next year, we'll come back and see if I hit them. So in 2025, I want to publish 50 books. I learned that 60 was maybe a little bit too high, so I'm going to go for 50. The aim is 26,000 book sales and $40,000 in profit, which is 10,000 more than this year. As I mentioned earlier, I've built a mailing list for this channel, but I've not built a mailing list for my books yet. So that's one thing I want to focus on in 2025, is building a little community for my books, which will hopefully help me to get those initial sales when I launch a new book. And also, I'm going to launch a second YouTube channel. The channel's going to be called That 40s Guy, and when it's up and running and I've made my first video in June, I'll make sure to tell you all about it. But that's my wrap up for 2024. How did you get on Amazon KDP? Drop a comment down below and let us all know. But for me, it was a very good year with continued growth, and I'm getting to that point now, hopefully in 2025, where I'm making a full-time income through publishing books on Amazon KDP. Now, I'm going to make a ton of videos again this year, all around Amazon and side hustles and passive income and absolutely everything that I can find online. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Okay, thanks for checking out the video. Happy New Year and good luck in 2025 on Amazon KDP.